Gökberk Demirci with his longtime friend? Everyone thought it was a random social media crush. Is Gökberk secretly rekindling a love we all thought was over?
Many were certain the hints pointed elsewhere, but the truth may be far more intimate than anyone expected. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Whispers of Turkish Stars. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. Your love keeps these stories coming.
In the world of celebrity whispers, timing is everything.
One small clue, a shared location, a caption that feels too poetic, suddenly the internet decides it knows who's in love. That's exactly what happened in recent days, when a storm of posts and comments started linking Gökberk Demirci to a new face. Matching backgrounds, the same city, pictures posted within minutes of each other, it was more than enough for the fastest keyboard detectives to declare a brand new romance.
Headlines rushed in, new love. TikTok reels were stitched together in seconds.
It felt like the story had already been written. But it didn't take long for that narrative to wobble. Sources close to Gökberk quietly pushed back.
Whatever those coincidental posts were, they weren't proof of anything.
Behind the curtain, there was a different heartbeat to the story, one that involved a name no stranger to anyone who's followed his journey.
Not a new face at all, but the one that has defined a chapter of his life, Özge Yagai's. Here's the twist: while the internet chased a shiny rumor, a more meaningful possibility was forming a clearer silhouette.
A woman who has known him at his best and his worst. A partner who once stood beside him under the brightest lights and then walked away with care. A confidant who understands how the industry can burn you, and how to move carefully through the embers.
The gossip world is asking, is this just friendship, or the quiet rebirth of a love that never really left? If the accusations about a sudden fling were smoke, is Özge the fire that has been there all along? The timing is what made everyone pause.
On one side, those conveniently aligned posts, just enough to make people draw lines that may not exist. On the other, a pattern that feels richer. Small but telling gestures, the subtle language in interviews, the soft tones in captions about personal growth, the choice to show up but not be seen.
People noticed that when Gökberk liked Özge's posts, the reactions came quickly and consistently, as if instinct, not performance.
And when she wrote about choosing peace and living for myself, it felt oddly parallel to interviews where he spoke about finding connection only with those who truly understand me. Suddenly, the theory of a casual fling began to crumble under the weight of a different story, two people quietly orbiting each other again.
Remember how the earlier rumor began? They spotted the same skyline in two different feeds.
They sifted through reflections and shadows in random cafe windows. They matched timestamps like puzzle pieces. It made for exciting content, sure. But as soon as the smoke cleared, it no longer looked like love, it looked like coincidence. According to insiders, that false lead frustrated people around Gökberk.
There was nothing there to confirm.
An acquaintance, nothing more, is how the rumor was reportedly described among those who actually knew the context. And just when the internet was ready to move on, the conversation shifted.
Not toward novelty, but toward history. Gökberk and Özge have been linked before, professionally, romantically, emotionally.
They know how the glare of attention can distort what is delicate. They've been praised together, criticized together, and separated under millions of curious eyes. Everyone remembers how their story seemed to end, wrapped in careful statements and mutual respect.
But endings in the celebrity world are not always permanent. Sometimes what looks like a door closing is simply two people choosing a quieter hallway. So why all this whispering now? Because those hallway shadows are moving.
Behind the scenes, the chatter says they've been in the same rooms with mutual friends, but never in the same frame. They've been at the same events, entering minutes apart, leaving even further apart. It's deliberate choreography, the kind that makes people think there's something worth protecting. People noticed the music they quoted in their captions seemed to speak to shared memories. They noticed his eye for her work again, and her readiness to applaud his wins with just the right amount of understatement. These aren't the gestures of a brand new spark. They're the signs of two people who know how fragile a second chance can be. And let's talk about the most important layer, how love grows in silence. Those who remember how overwhelming their previous chapter was won't be surprised. Back then, every outing became a headline, every gesture a microscope slide. It wasn't just a relationship, it was a front-page story. That pressure changes the way you breathe. You start to weigh every step. You skip dinners. You choose the back door. You save the sweetest words for the phone, not the camera. This time, the careful choice seems intentional.
That's why there aren't any grand denials. That's why nobody is rushing to dismiss or confirm. Because denying a truth that might still be finding its form can damage it.
And confirming something still tender can shatter it before it has a chance to stand.
Silence becomes the safest language. The question is, what is that silence saying? The fandom is divided.
One side argues the story has already begun again, only this time under new rules: privacy, intention, trust. They claim the sublime details, the timing, the little echoes between their words, are too aligned to be chance. The other side says we're all reading poetry where there is only punctuation, that a deep friendship, seasoned by time and respect, is being misread by people hungry for a fairy tale reunion.
But there is one point where even the skeptics and the romantics accidentally agree.
Whatever is happening between Gökberk and Özge is the most compelling narrative in their orbit in years.
Let's look closer at the patterns people are dissecting.
When she posted about turning the page and owning my calm, he followed with a reflection on choosing quality over noise. When he disappeared for a few days, she posted a message about trusting life's timing. When she stepped into a new project with confidence, he echoed support that didn't scream her name, but hummed in her rhythm. Friends say they've been careful, even with group photos, standing apart, smiles aimed elsewhere, but an aura that feels singular when their names appear in the same caption.
Is that serendipity? Or is it the quiet architecture of two people who don't want to build too fast this time?
There's another layer: how they showed up for each other during the most difficult moments. When the lights dimmed and the rumors grew loud, when work ebbed and anxieties swelled, they didn't perform for cameras.
They stayed.
People close to the situation whisper that during certain low tides, there were texts that turned into calls, calls that turned into late-night conversations no one else will ever hear. They talk about voices that knew the right words, and silences that also knew how to comfort.
That is what deepens bonds.
Not the red carpets, not the headlines, just the mundane tenderness of being understood.
So is this closeness new? Or is it, as many insist, a bond that has simply matured?
That is the question rattling the gossip corridors. Some insiders say this didn't restart last week or last month, it's been slow, warm, cautious.
A process more than a moment. A re-education in trust.
Others insist there's no romance at all, just a friendship that learned how to survive after the breakup and kept its pulse.
But if there's nothing to protect, why does everything feel so protected? Neither has come forward with a bright-line denial.
And that's where the code of celebrity silence becomes so fascinating.
If there's truly nothing, it would be easy to swat it away.
But sometimes, in this world, the refusal to answer is the clearest answer you'll ever get.
Not because it confirms anything, but because it reveals priorities. Protect the heart first. Let the public catch up later. If the whispers are true, this isn't a tabloid fling.
It's a love story with memory, with depth, with work. It's the kind of connection that takes more than bouquets and restaurant sightings to build.
It thrives on shared history and healed edges. Perhaps that's why they're not rushing.
Maybe they're more interested in being right for each other than being loud for us.
If they are quietly choosing again, maybe it's because they finally know the cost of choosing wrong in public.
And so, we circle back to the headline that got everyone buzzing. The sudden rumor lost its shine.
The brighter light belongs to the name that never really left the stage, Özge Yagai's. The chapter about a headline-friendly new love is over.
The conversation is, and always was, about the woman who has been a constant theme in his story. Whether this ends in a photographed handhold, a shared holiday frame, or simply a respectful friendship that defies easy labels, there is no denying the magnetism of this moment.
What happens next?
That's the delicious part.
Gossip columnists are already on alert. A photo could surface, just a single picture that changes everything. Or perhaps an interview line, thrown away like an afterthought, that lands like a confession.
Maybe nothing at all will happen, and the silence will remain the ending and the beginning at once.
But right now, the pulse of this story is steady. It has the calm of people who know what they're doing, even if we don't. Tell us what you think. Is there a rekindling between Gökberk Demirci and Özge, yeah guys? Do you believe this is brand new, or has it been quietly unfolding for a long time? Were those early accusations just a mirage noise we mistook for a signal?
Share your thoughts in the comments. This conversation is far from over. We'll be here watching, listening, and reading the details that others miss. If a surprise picture drops, if an unexpected statement appears, if the silence breaks even a little, we'll bring it to you first right here on Whispers of Turkish Stars. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
In this world, the truth is rarely in the headline.
It's almost always in the pauses, the timing, and the gentle care two people use when they are trying to get it right.
See you in the next video. Goodbye.
And to everyone watching, may the new year be kind to your heart.